The Prime Minister has an eye for fashion and began her day in a cashmere scarf factory in Ayrshire. Her message today is that Brexit will not cut the ties that bind the UK together. Although in truth, when Brexit happens, not much will change at all, because the UK will be going straight into what's called the implementation period.
What businesses and people had said to us is that they didn't want to face a sudden cliff edge at that point. That's why it's so important that we've got the agreement from the rest of the European Union to what's called this implementation period until December 2020.
Scotland, of course, voted against Brexit and is being dragged out of the EU with misgivings about the whole enterprise.
A year to go, we don't have any greater clarity now about the future relationship than we did on referendum day or the day Article 50 was triggered last year. My view is, I wish we weren't leaving the EU, but if we are, we should try to stay within the single market and the customs union so that we can continue to trade freely across Europe, and that would be in the best interests of Scotland.
Mrs May then travelled to a school in Northumberland to meet parents and toddlers. The northeast of England may have voted for Brexit, but at the school gates it's not universally popular.
I don't think it's going to work. It's a terrible idea for the whole country. Economic disaster.
The Prime Minister was soon off to catch a plane to Northern Ireland. Another question hanging over her four-nation tour is whether the day's worth marking at all.
A year from today, it's going to be an act of national liberation. We will leave the European treaties that we joined nearly half a century ago, and we will be an independent, self-governing nation.
But nothing will actually change, will it?
In the centuries to come, people will look back and say it was a very significant date.
The Prime Minister's tour arrived at a family farm near Bangor, County Down, where Mrs May listened to the farmers' concerns but batted away questions about whether she should really have visited the Irish border, which has created so many chewy problems.
The visit I'm doing today is actually part of a wider range of visits that I'm doing today to the four nations of the United Kingdom, to talk to people, to hear from people about their views on Brexit.
The Prime Minister rounded off her tour meeting business leaders in South Wales before heading back to London this evening. Here in West London, Mrs May is meeting those who perhaps have the most to lose from Brexit, a group of Polish expats. But they're not the only people looking for reassurance from her here in Westminster or around the country. Carl Dinnan, ITV News.